Jennifer Perney. Good evening.
Hi, thank you. Okay. I'm a parent with 3 children in the Shenango Valley School District. I'm not a misinformed parent. I'm not upset over the testing or how the standards were implemented and rolled out. I'm not confused over the testing and what they are. I'm not confusing them with the Common Core standards or with the Engage New York modules. I know what I'm talking about. I'm an educated person. Educating me on the standards will not help me accept them or understand them better. I have many issues with the Common Core standards, though. I have problems with the lack of research, data, and evidence proving these standards are working and are truly higher standards, as some people have said before. I have a problem that members of the validating committee for the standards refuse to sign off on the standards, as has been mentioned before. I think one of my biggest problems is how the standards were created. When you really look at and research how they were created, they were staircase down. So somebody said, and again, remember they're non-educators, who said, this is what a child needs to know going into college. So this is what a 12th grader should know. This is what an 11th grader should know. 10th, 9th, 8th, down to a 2nd grader, 1st grader, kindergartner. It's not okay how they're created. They don't look at the brain capacity for a child that age. So the Common Core standards are not developmentally appropriate for young children, as has been mentioned. They are one-size-fits-all, allowing no opportunity for individualization. Coming from an early childhood education background myself, I know that all children learn differently and at different pace. A young child learns best through play. Play is critical to the healthy growth and development of children. As a parent of a now 1st grader, I've seen firsthand what's happening in the classroom. Last year, my daughter was in kindergarten. She was expected to be reading pretty fluently. But when you look at what's developmentally appropriate, a child should be reading words at the age of 6, not a young kindergartner who's 4. So it's not developmentally appropriate. A kindergartner should also be learning through hands-on experiences, active in her learning, not sitting at a desk doing worksheets all day long. Even now in 1st grade, I'm surprised how many times she comes home and says, I took a test today. I took a test today. She takes a lot of tests for a 1st grader. Pushing the words and reading onto a kindergartner or a 1st grader is not going to fix the word gap. And I spoke at the forum 2 years ago that Commissioner King and Chancellor Tisch did around the state, and on another listening tour. And I actually heard them say that there's this 30 million word gap, and so we gotta make that up. Cramming words at a kindergartner is not going to fix the 30 million word gap. That starts at 0. 0 to 3 is my expertise in the area, and more education resources need to be put into the early childhood years. But I also have a 4th grader. She should not miss playground because they needed to catch up on work that they didn't get to yet. She should not bring her lunch home because she didn't have time to finish it because they got to lunch period late because they were finishing up a test or finishing up an assignment. She has strong math skills, but she shouldn't be crying over her homework every single night because she doesn't understand it the way that they're teaching it in class. It's not okay. I also have a 6th grader who stressed over the test. So 2 years ago, I saw what a lot of pressure and stress my son was on and made the decision to have him refuse. And all of that stress went away. Then we noticed all of the time spent on test prep. He'd come home from school saying that the day was boring because all they did was prepare for the test that he's not going to take. That shouldn't be how children are taught in school. Learning should be fun. And I'm just surprised by some of the things in school. Get my son's class list for 6th grade this year, and for physical education, gym, he needed a 3-ring binder with 12 dividers. Why do you need a ring binder with dividers for gym, for physical education? Isn't that exercise and activity? Isn't that a time to get their energy out? So I'm concerned over education in the state. I'm concerned about our future. I think the controversy over the Common Core mixed with the state's lack of trust in teachers, with tying the teacher evaluations to the children's test scores, as well as the increased standards for teacher prep programs, it's causing a real problem in the state. There's decreased, as some people have said, decreased professionals going into the field, and I'm worried about our future. So I urge you, the task force, to fully repeal the Common Core. Don't just attempt to fix it. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony, Mrs. Perry. Dr.